you are the man who put up lots of wooden roadblocks. Let me guess, you're a cyclist.
So I do cycle, this is true.
There you go.
But I also drive a car when I need to. And I also believe in public transport as well. I use the tube, I use the Elizabeth line, and I try to walk as well. So I think if I can be so bold as to say that was a slightly hysterical reaction to low traffic neighbourhoods that you've given.
Let me tell you why I am hysterical about this. And Julian, as I say, this is falling on predominantly women, young families, teenagers, kids. The only people who feel safe cycling more often than getting in a car are generally blokes, older blokes who like to cycle, who don't have the responsibility and the paraphernalia of real life. Surely you understand why so many people like me are exasperated.
So I've got grandchildren, I've got daughters with children, and so I do understand those challenges that young families have in getting their children to school in the morning and doing all those things that they have to do, taking them to their ballet classes or whatever it may be. But there are ways of doing that in a sustainable way, and we do have to look at and reassess our relationship with the car. And I don't think
what you're making us do is reassess the relationship that our children have with freedom. It's no exaggeration to say it's about the freedom to get them off their screens, get them out to their activities. It's hard enough. I live in West London. In fact, my brother lives in the area where you were putting wooden flower boxes at the end of roads. Exactly. So I know exactly what that area is like in West London. It's a nightmare. Why, when you say we have solutions, what does that look like at 7 o'clock trying to get down the A4 to Brentford Leisure Centre? How do I do that?
So, you know, there are 30% of our journeys are short journeys that could actually be done either walking or cycling, and that you don't always have to get into the car, frankly. And that's what this is primarily about. It's about trying to get people to move to more sustainable and healthy ways of travel when they don't need to. And oftentimes, small journeys to the local shop around the corner or to the school just down the road, they don't have to be made in a car. You can walk.
I know they don't have to be, but I want to. I know they don't have to be, but I want to do it in my car, and that's all right. The car is a radical symbol of individuality and freedom. And it is disgusting that people like me that just want to take our families to activities are being told to walk at 6 o'clock on a rainy, pitch black Wednesday night when it's hard enough to get the kids to go to swimming club anyway. How are we meant to do it? A bus, walking, it's just not feasible. You're going to mean everyone's going to be sat at home.
Well, again, I think you're overreacting, to put it mildly.
I'm not. I'm so sorry. I'm not overreacting. I don't know the last time you tried to do the things that mums have to do in the evening. I guess you have never had to do that.
Low traffic. I've done lots of school runs. I've done lots of ballet runs. And I understand the
in a car, presumably. You didn't stick them on the back of your bike in a tutu.
I've done lots of walking as well as in a car. But let's get this out of the way now. Low traffic neighbourhoods do not stop anybody from going where they want to go. You can get to where you want to go. You may have to do a longer journey
exactly.
Sometime.
And when you live in London, you don't have time. It already takes me half an hour from Chiswick to get to Hammersmith. It doesn't work, and you can't do that. And parents are exhausted, and grandparents who are often doing this, helping out with childcare. It's totally unrealistic to say, just walk. It's unrealistic. It's not rooted in reality, Julian, at all.
Well, you're painting this with one brush and saying that all journeys are of such a length and such a nature that you can only make them by car. I don't accept that. There are lots and lots of journeys. 30% of journeys are very, very short journeys, which could happily be done and easily be done by either walking or cycling or scooting. Children love to scoot. And essentially, what you're doing is saying, well, I don't care about any of the wider issues that low traffic neighbourhoods address. They address the climate crisis. They address the obesity crisis. The NHS is spending billions on fighting obesity.
You know what addresses the obesity crisis? Being able to take our children to activities after school. And you cannot. In London, it is just completely ridiculous. And other big cities, it's not realistic to come home from school at 5 o'clock on the bus to then say, right, kids, get your coat on. I know it's snowing. It doesn't matter. We've got to scoot to netball, which is all the way up the A4 in Osterley. I can't do that. And the problem is the LTNs in my area have actually made the journeys longer. There's more pollution. I'm spending more time in my car. The woman who runs the netball team that my girls do at the moment, she's almost had to give up because all of those families from Ealing, from Acton, from Chiswick, from West London, and I know this is repeated in cities across the country, we can't get there because the traffic is so bad, because everyone's been forced onto these main arterial roads. And I can't help but thinking it's blokes who don't know what we're dealing with that have made these decisions.
Well, again, the evidence doesn't prove that. Certainly within LTNs, the amount of traffic is significantly reduced. The number of accidents in low traffic neighbourhoods is significantly reduced. In London, it was shown to be up to 50% reductions in accidents with LTNs. They also enable more people to cycle and walk. And frankly, if there is an increase in traffic on boundary roads, it's not very significant. And in some instances, it isn't there at all. So you have to let these things settle down and you have to allow people to change their travel behaviours. And they will
while
do.
We're settling down, change their travel behaviours. It's this language that is what makes people so upset, Julian. It's alienating. There is no doubt that we have to do things to have cleaner air, cleaner water. We all share that. But the speed and the determination with which these low traffic neighbourhoods are being pushed through is meaning that a lot of people are very much now pushing against any sort of ecological ambition. And it's just backfiring. It's backfiring in so many ways.